What's up, y'all? This is Evan with Backwoods Adventure Mods. Today we're going to walk through the assembly of and some of the features of our cabinet box. So this is our Overland aluminum cabinet box. It's made out of 1/8" aluminum. It's just big enough to fit the Honda 2000 series generator. It's 30 inches tall, 24 inches wide, 15 inches deep. So first off, the latch, it's double lockable, has a key that comes with it, as well as the padlock option. It's got a good water and dust resistant seal. Inside you'll find this shock assist that holds the door open really well and also helps hold it in the closed position. Has a shelf that's adjustable. Right now we've got it at the height that we preset it at. Moving along to the outside, this door stiffener kind of acts as like a utility panel or a molly panel. You can put whatever accessories you want to on it. Over here on the side there's another accessory panel. It's pre-drilled for the Rotopacks fuel packs specifically, which is this 4-gallon fuel container. You could put other accessories on it. You would just drill your holes. Again, it's aluminum, so it's easy to drill. This top rack, this is designed for just more accessories. It has square bar right here specifically so any square bar type roof rack accessory can clamp to it, like your ski rack or your bike rack. I've even seen people use it as a firewood rack, so it's pretty versatile, and it gives you a spot to put your license plate if it's going on the back of your vehicle. Anyway, now I want to walk through the assembly process. Here we have it unboxed and unpacked. Everything comes wrapped in foam, and it comes disassembled with all the small parts inside for safety. And also, we don't know which way you're going to turn this box. You may want to put it on one side of your vehicle, but also have the door open a specific direction. So for that reason, everything on it's reversible. You can turn the shelf over inside. You can put the accessories on either side. You can put the shock at the top or bottom. So you'll see 2 different shock mounts for each end, and you'll pick a specific set of mounts depending on which way you want the door to open, left or right. You'll see the hardware with some rubber plugs for the unused holes. Then you have the door stiffener panel and the side panel, and of course the shock. So the first thing you need to do is decide which way you're going to orient this. We do ship it with the shelf fully installed. If you happen to turn it over from how we have it set up, it's just these 4 carriage bolts, 2 on each side. Pretty easy to get to. Just take them off, set it at the height you want, turn it the direction you want it to be. So we're going to roll with it this way up with the door opening to the right. So the first thing we're going to do is install the door stiffener, and at the same time, since it shares hardware, we'll install the shock mount. Okay, we have our bag of hardware here. It's the 3/4 inch long, 1/4 inch stainless steel button head screws and the nylon lock nuts. So as I mentioned, we have 2 different shock mounts. This is the mount that goes on the door. One is a mirror opposite of the other. There's no way to install it wrong. If you grab the wrong one, the bolt holes don't line up. So it uses these 3 holes and shares hardware with these. So this piece and this piece are going to sandwich the door. So first I'm just going to put a few bolts just in this to hold it in place, keep it from falling off. Now I'll start to install this bracket. For the inner shock mount, the part that bolts to the box, there's these 2 holes. Now this you actually could get backwards. I'm not actually sure that it would even matter if you did, but the way it's designed puts the holes a little bit further away from the shock, so that the bend is going to face the rest of the shock. So this is the wrong one. We want to put this one on here. To put the shock on, it's going to rest on top of the outer mount, on top of the door side mount, and under the mount in here. By default, I'm just going to select the 2 holes that are farthest away from one another. You can change how far the door opens based on which holes you pick. There's a lock washer and a nut for these. The last part to bolt on is our side accessory panel. Now right now as it stands, the box is only pre-drilled on one side. Moving forward, new orders that we build are going to have holes on both sides. For now, if you want to put it on the hinge side, just copy the measurements or use this as your template and put it on the other side. We actually did that on this box. For today, we're going to bolt it in the side that has existing holes. Just a quick note about this side panel. If you're going to go ahead and install the Rotopax fuel packs or any other accessory, it's a lot easier to bolt those mounts onto this before you put it on, so you're not having to wedge your hand and the washers and nuts in between this space. It can be done, but it's easier to do it ahead of time. So now we're ready to tighten this down. All the 1/4-20 hardware uses a 5/32 Allen and a 7/16 wrench or socket. Go ahead and tighten these down now. We just tightened down all the bolts and nuts. That's done, it's ready to install. If you're putting it on one of our van rear bumpers, there's holes pre-cut, pre-drilled into the big panels on the swing out. Just to kind of illustrate which bolts you use, we're going to use this van as an example. So it's going to be these outer line of 4, and then there's 2 more kind of centered in each half of the box. You'll notice there's holes side by side. That's because each set of holes is mirrored. For when you flip it over, you would be using these holes instead. But pretty much once you get one installed, the rest of them you can just line up and eyeball. So that's it. When you're installing it on the bumper, I like to use the rubber backed washers to make it a little bit more of a watertight seal. Just a few more notes. This is probably self-explanatory, but right side up on the shelf is with the lip facing up. That way when you put stuff in here, it can't fall off. So if you've turned your box over, you may need to turn your shelf over as well. Also, you'll have a big handful of these little plugs. Anywhere you have unused holes, you want to use these plugs, and they just push in. So for example, the top of the door, plug those holes. The bottom of the door, leave open, because that's actually a drip catch area. The water runs off and drips down into the bottom of the door, so you want those drain holes there. Same with the bottom of the box. You might choose to plug a few of them, but I would leave 1 or 2 open. So that's it, guys. That's the assembly process for our cabinet box. If you guys have any other questions, reach out to us at backwoodsadventuremods.com. Thanks for watching.